Hello. It is Sunday, January 3rd, 2021. This is the fourth cycle, the fourth part, and the first video. I've done various other little things for the adventure week, but might as well end it off with this. And then tomorrow begins cycle 5, so Monday would be cycle 5. All right. This cycle is the 14-minute, 28 chin-ups and stretch type challenge. All right, so got all that out of the way. Got the clock with 14 minutes on it and the public service announcement. Please do not waste your time watching this unless you have a very specific reason to watch this. And what this is at the top of the minute, 2 chin-ups every minute. Killing the time between the 2 chin-ups is just some stretching. And for some reason, this feels like a good progression. Not the most taxing, but it's kind of nice in some interesting ways. And I'm going to attack this with a kind of a happy, positive viewpoint. It's kind of funny. See if I can bend my mind towards really liking working out, as opposed to sometimes I just really hate it, so I don't really do as much as I probably should to become as healthy as I would like to be. All right, there's the chin-up bar. That's probably a good spot. We got the clock here. Let's see if I can see the spot where I put down the clock. Yeah, I'll put down the clock. Well, you can't see that, but I'll go back a little bit. Not that the framing really matters in this, but it is a nice, to be able to see me check the clock, and it would be ideal to actually have the clock on the screen, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm going to do some slight stretching just before, because that seems like a good idea. And ideally, even with all the prep work, hopefully this workout with me talking and all that takes no longer than, like 30 minutes. So it's an easy 30 minutes. I'm going to think of a couple little workouts to do. So I want to do at least something every single day. Do a few of my dad's favorite stretches. Good for the back and stuff. Supposedly better if you do them in the pool. This is not one of them, but this is just nice. All right. Kind of fun to test your balance a little bit. All right. It's feeling good so far. Okay. I think that's basically it. So I'm going to start the time. Just do 2. 1, 2. All right, back to stretching. It'd be nice to get rid of this gut. It's hopefully going to happen with some of these things I'm going to be doing. Yeah, my eating has been not the best lately, but that is okay. Not feeling bad, that's the best thing, but not in the shape I'd like to be in. Get a little bit more fit. All right, looking at the time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think the next one I'll just do an L-shaped chin-up just because. So I recently saw a buddy of mine, and he was talking about doing a workout where I think it was like 100 chin-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 chin-ups, 100 push-ups, or something like that. I'm reasonably sure that's not it, because he also said something about squats and maybe something else in there. But anyway, So he did that with a few buddies, and in the back of my mind, I'm just like, wow, wonder if I could do that. Doesn't feel like I could. I'm happy with this though, but I think it took them over an hour, so who knows, maybe if I had an hour. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1. Oh, didn't do the L. 2. All right. So yeah, I guess also the rich food I've been eating and the lack of formal workouts have, you know, I already feel a little bit weaker, but not terrible. All right, a little bit. This, like I said, I really like the stretch for the back. Back is a little, lower back is a little bit tight. Oh, there we go. Deep into it. All right, do the same thing here. A lot of trying to get that back, just kind of open up. And of course, down like this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and get the L in there. 1, 2. A little bit more difficult. I think did it to do it. I'm probably not going to do it again. Just going to fold up my knees behind me. So it's good talking to you. Oh man, sweaty already. Good news is right after this I can take a quick cold shower. Although, I think I'm gonna inject a little bit of heat into it too. Cold, then hot, then cold. I think that's gonna change my procedural thing. All right. 11, or 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here comes 2. All right. Gotta stretch backwards a little bit. Oh, that's a good one right there. Oh man, hopefully I don't get talking too much and skip a minute, because I'm not really counting these. I have no idea really which one I'm on. I guess mathematically it's 9 minutes right now and 30 some seconds. So if I did the 14, 13, 12, 10. So I've only done 10 so far. Or 8 so far, I guess. Got a lot to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One little note to self is I really gotta spend more time writing. I found out that like in public places, if I have my backpack, which has my little Bluetooth keyboard in there, I like typing in public places, especially changing phrases and typing in public places, changing phrases. Anyway, like noticing just, you know, I want to listen for a word. And like, let's say there's dialogue, and I don't want everything to come from my own head. So use the randomization of somebody saying a word and include that within the dialogue I'm already putting in. And there's a little challenge there, I guess. 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Nice little rest at the bottom. And it seems like it takes at least 10 seconds for me to do that just twice. So I could just imagine like sets of 4 or something. So sets of 1 would be 14, sets of 2 would be 28, sets of 3 I guess would be what, 36? No, 28 plus plus 14? Well, 28 plus 10, 38 plus 4, 42. Add another 14, that would be 42 plus 14, which would be 52, 56. So yeah, there's a lot to be had there. Whoa! There we go. Almost missed it. Did miss it. One. Two. All right. I'm gonna do the other little stretch I saw some guy talk about. Actually bending your knee and hitting the ground with it there. Just really, and even taking it like sideways a little bit. Kind of opens things up. Feels like a pretty good stretch. Get down deep. Almost like to do the Achilles heel thing, but I'm not going to do that right now. Just open up the back, I guess. All right. Two, one. Struggling. Not very struggling, but still struggling. But getting it done, a little bit at a time. Not pushing this too hard. It's only 14 minutes of my life. I can use it to improve my life. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Keep going back to this stretch, which is probably pretty good. All the cold weather went bye-bye. 2, 1. 1, 2. A little bit of struggle, a little bit of muscling up, momentum style. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'm just gonna note it and let it get better later. Weird stretches. Even this feels like a silly stretch, but it feels good too. Man, time flies. It goes a little bit better with me talking and not just absorbed in whatever this is. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Different angles on it. 1, 2. I can see my knees go up a little bit. They weren't totally still, but that's all right. Like I said, just noting it. Next time I'll make an extra effort to see if I can bring my knees to almost total stillness. At least not do any motion up or down like that. Just keep it here. And if there's sway factor, that's fine. You can only eliminate so many things. Here's a weird stretch that I kind of like. Just kind of standing there like that. Oh. And of course the classic, kind of touch your toes, but bend your knees a little bit, then straighten your knees and do it again. A lot of difference between those straight knees. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2. Don't know if I went as high without that little knee jerk reaction. A little bit of extra momentum added to it. Whew. All right, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left right now. And you can look at the time if you want. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit dark. Yeah, That's okay. I'll take my own word for it. A little bit of... I have a friend that's, or I don't know if he said that or, anyway, it doesn't matter. 2, 1. There we go, there's another 2. Man, I'm sweating. Whew. It's good sweat. Makes me want that shower even more. Alright, so he had this thing where the stretching, neck-wise, never go backwards on it. I didn't understand that. And then maybe I heard it from a video too or something like that. I really like the whole stretching your neck out like that. Kind of like the whole like pushing against, and then taking your chin a little bit, and a little bit of power there, and then kind of shaking your head, loosening up that tension. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1. 2. A countdown to count up. I'm definitely feeling it. Alright, so I guess this is possibly the last one, or maybe that was the last one, but it's counting down. 0 minutes left, just 33 seconds left right now. Whew, this has been good. That's what I'm going to say to myself. I'm going to say it till I believe it. I'm going to totally brainwash myself. Live my own subjective reality. Whew, where this is awesome. Good things will happen. All right. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh shoot, I was slow. Almost an instant reaction. As soon as I heard that, I was like, shut it off. But that's okay. All right, still have it set for the good old 14. I use this in some of my breathing exercises too. I really like a simple clock. One of the cool things about this one is clear it out and have it count up. Well, it's not a clock at all. It never displays the time. All it is a timer and a stopwatch, I guess, to a certain extent. Time's up, time's down, count down and count up. But to get that 14 minutes, you have to press the minute thing, 14 times, which is not too bad. It was relatively quick. And to clear it out is one button, to start is another button, minute, second. Love the design on this. Real simple. Although it's a kind of a pain when I have to do like 90 seconds. So I do a minute and 30 seconds and have to press the second button 30 times for that countdown. So yeah, we're done in here. A little bit of sweat. Got properly motivated to get it out of the way. Can talk to you guys for a bit. Feel good about a lot of things. Oh, I accidentally pressed something. Guess I'll just clear it out. That's a cool thing, it's not too hard to reset it for what you need. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna just basically see if I can write down my finest check mark for this. I believe it needs a nice big check mark. And we're not just gonna do the pen. We're gonna do a highlighter too. I think it's kind of green. No, we got highlighter in blue. There we go, we got the big check mark. And there was some stretching. The stretching wasn't rigorously serious, kind of ad hoc, but the chin-ups were done. And I think if I consistently do this, do stuff like this every day, and I realize with this adventure week that me not videotaping, I had some good various workouts. It definitely felt good, got a lot of blood flow, but it was far less intense than what I did in there, by at least like that. Maybe I got to 75% to what I'm, the output that I did with that, which I guess isn't much anyway. So, but, based upon this one dream I had, this guy that was highly successful in a lot of things, an amazing generalist who said, yeah, you believe in consistency is more important than intensity. Well, if you got enough time, an 18% effort yields amazing results as long as you do that at least 18% effort 100% of the time. Don't miss a day. Even if you think you're going to skip a day, put that 18% effort and don't skip. Just do it at 18% because, unless you're dying or dead, even if you're dying but you're not quite dead, you still should be able to put at least an 18% effort in. I like that. But then again, I hate the idea of breaking the chain. Like, I get caught up in this whole idea of like, I've done this every day for, so many days in a row. And then, you skip a day or something like that, and that breaks the chain. You just don't get back on it because the chain's been broken. What's the point? So I don't really look at it like that. And that's why I'm mentally constantly rebuilding this workout system. So it's highly motivating, highly forgiving, and it's not optimum towards results by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's optimum towards any internal laziness I might have, and kind of forgiving that and going beyond that and just like, dude, it's 18%, man. You can do it, all those things. And this does seem like a lot sometimes, and it doesn't seem like very much at all other times. So this workout is part of that repertoire, and I didn't have to do this specifically. Like I said, it's an adventure week, so it's the tail end of adventure week. I haven't filmed anything on this adventure week, so I figured I'd throw that in there because I have done this workout maybe once or twice before, and I'm sure I've videotaped at least once other time, but feels good. Feels good to air out my thoughts and then have them for reconsideration later at the end of these videos. So, and I might ask myself, hey, what's going on in my life? And this also preps me for when people ask, hey, what's going on? I actually have an answer instead of looking silly and just sounding dumb. Yeah, what's going on in my life? Yesterday, watched a whole bunch of episodes of various things on Amazon Prime with my dad. Like 4 episodes. Like we watched the first Ray Donovan episode a couple nights ago. Maybe it was the night before. I don't know. And then yesterday, watching like episodes like 2 through 5 or something like that, like a ridiculous amount. Maybe only 3 of them, but still seemed like a lot. Plus 1 episode of The Expanse, and I understand why they're leaking it out releasing it out 1 week at a time. It doesn't mean I like it. I think it's it's for the people that get Amazon Prime for free and watch all these different shows and then get their free month in, and if they have a great show that's being released 1 week at a time, those promotional people are more likely to stay and pay. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, but I definitely don't like the whole idea of, back in the days when you had to deal with commercials plus waiting every week for the storyline to be continued, that sucked. And I understand why they do recaps and all that kind of stuff, but it's so much better where you can skip the intro, skip the recap, all that kind of stuff, and just dive into it, as they call, binge watching. Because you get the complete story, especially a story that has a definitive ending, and, chapter complete, chapter of your life complete by, indulging in fiction. Yeah, another thing I was thinking about is, like, kind of what if I spent, and this is going to sound like not very much effort, but, what if I spent 3 hours towards my writing every single day? I think I'm going to at least spend, and this is going to sound weak as hell, but you know what? It's better than 0. And with, like, no skip days, like, at least 15 minutes. maybe I'll do 18 minutes in honor of the 18% from that one dude in the dream. And the dream, for clarification, see if I can remember it real well, was I was doing well in a lot of ways, and this dude came to me and said, "Hey, I need you to take a break from all your endeavors for a year, and I'll pay you this amazing amount of money." And I think he said like $50,000 or $60,000. It might have been like 73,000, like 73,333. All threes, 0.33. And he's like, "I'll pay you exactly that, but I need you to be a drummer for a band, and you're going to be on tour with us, and you're going to be surrounded by the band 24/7. But we're all good people, and you do have an isolation area on the bus. You have your own little part of the bus, your own little area that no one can get into, and you can spend as long as you want in there. So you're guaranteed some private time." And I'm like, "Cool," because I like the alone time to kind of charge myself up. So he told me all this stuff, and he told me the amount of money, and we flew to like this country that was kind of a country within a country, kind of separated. I guess he had enough money where he could separate this whole, like they didn't have their police in there, they didn't have any of their government in there, but what he had is his own little, well, actually pretty big, because you can go across. He had to get on a bus and get across and all that kind of stuff. But what he did was he had the band, and what he did for his real life, he had a whole bunch of different endeavors, like vending machines and some sort of protocol for banks, and just stuff that made ridiculous amounts of money out of the small skimming things at the top. Anyway, that wasn't the 18% guy, by the way. The 18% guy was the lead singer in the band. Anyway, so that was the thing, and they built like drums to my specifications. I like the electronic drums, and the drums that they built had all these really just amazing features. I wrote down some of the features. One of the ones I can remember right now was there was like a sensor right before you hit the drum, and you could dial it in. It was all within like the module, but the sensor at 100% would mute everything coming out of the drums right before you hit the drums, just like a nanosecond. So a nanosecond of silence before you actually hit the drum. So like it cleared the audio palette, and then boom, it was there. And I could set that for all the drums, and you could set that to 100% where it cleared it 100%, or just minimally, and you could set it for different drums. And that was so much fun setting that out and hearing that, because it did something that's just not found in reality, that you can do with electronics that you can't quite do with the laws of acoustics and physics and the way sound works. But it sounded just bizarre. It was like a higher level of quality, because that turning it up to like, oh, it knocks down all the other drums by 50% when I do this, especially with fun with the bass drum, and the snare didn't need it as much because the snare just kind of cuts through it. But certain cymbals, I really wanted to make the cymbal stand out a little bit more, so I hit it a little bit less and didn't need to really go crazy on it. And like everything was there. It was just like super fine-tuned. It was all modular and folding, and you can fold it into a small package, unfold it itself. Basically press a button, thing unfolds itself, and it's a drum kit, and you go. The chair just synced in perfectly with me. Any of the materials hitting, like that's a problem with electronic drums sometimes. If you want to play real light, you'll still hear the tapping on the actual mechanism. Whatever the stuff was made out of, it barely made any noise, but had, just like the things I like about electronic drums like that, I can have a really loose sounding snare if I wanted to. Not that I like loose sounding snares, but I could, but have the tension on the head be very tight and bouncy. So the tension could be totally different than the tone or the tightness and looseness of it. So it had all those advantages of electronic drums. Had the advantage of not blowing out my ears. Had the advantage of letting me practice with headphones and not bother anybody, especially this kit, because it's not even tapping, super whisper quiet in a lot of ways. Whole like amazing electronic gym to work out in. Like everything was monitored, and like you didn't need to count. If you wanted to, it could count out loud for you. It was just amazing. So loving all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, there was all sorts of good things in that situation. The people were super nice. The bandmates were just great. I won't describe all the bandmates, but basically there was a guy that I thought was slacking, and that was the lead singer. And I was like, man, we really got to push forth. And he's like, dude, my 18% will cover it. And he showed me like when he turned it up beyond 18%. To like more in his talent range, and I was like, wow, this guy's really amazing. He really puts forth the effort. And he's like, but I consistently train and practice at 18%. If I'm feeling my worst, I still know I can push through, and my 18% will be good enough. But you'll see when we do shows how he turned it up more than 18% for the shows, depending upon how many shows were in a 2-week cycle and all that kind of stuff. Long dream, kind of scattered about it, but it seemed like everything kind of took a while, and like time seemed to kind of travel in a kind of weird way there and all that. But yeah, it was very good stuff. Anyway, won't go into much more of that, but just my takeaway from that was the 18% idea from a dude in a dream telling me that consistency is way more powerful than intensity if you have enough time and you're willing to do that 18% highly regularly. All right, there's my brain droppings. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Notes to self and all that kind of stuff. And thank goodness I saved this for the end. Although I'm sure I did a whole bunch of talking in between. Oh man, dude, even I think I'm ODing on Yormishness right now. So I can just imagine anybody else besides me watching this. Please don't. I'm not gonna say it's bad for your health, but I don't know if it's doing you any favors. As I try to fix a tile. Wow, that got loose like that? That's weird. Oh, there's the fix. Just have to look at it. Put it in the right way. Wonder if Gorilla Glue will help that out. Anyway. Okay. Cool. Later it shall be.